Here's a list of ingredients for the bumblebee kathrikai or bumblebee eggplants. So I've taken about 6 to 7 small eggplants, salt to taste, a teaspoon of tamarind extract, and I've just said curry powder because that powder is really up to you what you use. Like I say in my main video, I will post a video of the powder because it's a multi-purpose powder that I keep to hand and use it to improve a lot of dishes, and especially for sambar and a lot of other vegetables as well. And you need some oil. So because the curry powder already has turmeric and hing, which is asafoetida, I have not added them in the list. But if you're using a different powder and you would like these ingredients, then by all means add it to the curry powder. So it is a fairly simple list of ingredients. So look at the method now. There will be quite a lot of hooting noise. I've got a few cookers going on. So I've taken baby aubergines. They're not particularly big because that's what suits this dish. There you go. So I chop its head off and make slices, but I don't cut it until the end to separate it. I just make some cuts in there so that I can stuff the powder in, and that's about the gap. Depending on what size your aubergine is, you can cut as many sections as you want. So right, so that's the aubergine cut. So you can see it's not been cut through fully. It's going to stay as one full aubergine. So I've got my spice powder here. This is special curry powder that I grind. I roast chana dal, coriander seeds, some methi seeds, fenugreek seeds, some red chilies, and hing as well. I also put a little bit of urad dal. I will make a separate video of this powder. If you don't have such a powder, you can use any Barwan masala also that gives you a bit of a North Indian flavor, or you can use any other like sambar powder. It would taste much better if it's slightly coarse, so my powder is a bit coarse because it just gives that consistency. I'm adding a bit of salt to this powder because I will need a bit of salt in the stuffing. So just give it a quick mix, and then it's fairly straightforward. I just need to stuff these gaps with the powder. So the more the merrier. Make your aubergine fat. Aubergines are good, rich in iron, so they're quite good for the body. If you have a lot of cold, they say avoid aubergine because it belongs to the nightshade family. It could increase the amount of mucus, and that's what I was advised. So although it's my favorite vegetable, I don't make it as often as I used to. It is definitely one of God's best creation. So just filling that in, and I'll do the same with the rest of them. So stuff them, so they're ready. I'm going to cook this in my little cooker, which is about 2 liter capacity. It's actually the one pot one shot magic pot. So I'm going to put about quarter cup of water, just shy of quarter cup of water, and add some oil. I'm using the gingerly oil because that gives a very nice South Indian flavor, and because my stuffing is South Indian based, I'm using this. You could add mustard oil if you want a North Indian flavor, depending on what masala you're trying to use inside the stuffing. So that's about a spoon of oil, or just over a spoon of oil. This method of cooking in the cooker means you don't need an awful lot of oil for this dish. You could very well cook this on a pan. It will obviously take a lot longer than it's going to take in the cooker. So I'm just arranging these aubergines in a way that they sit properly. So I think that's well planned. Pat on my back, because I don't want any of the aubergines to sit on top of each other, otherwise they will not get that crunch. Now try as best as you can to avoid putting the spice on the bottom of the cooker, because that's the first thing that will burn, and you don't want that, because you will have to turn it off if that happens. So there you go. I'm going to add about a spoon of tamarind, so tamarind extract. I'm spreading it on these aubergines. I've been a bit lazy because I need to get back to my work. I'm using this ready-made tamarind extract. You could use proper tamarind, soak it and get the extract. Now because the top of these aubergines do not have any salt, only the stuffing has salt, I'm going to sprinkle some salt on top of this. The salt that I'm using is not as salty as a lot of other salts I've tried, so it looks like I'm putting a lot. Now I'm going to close this and leave it for one whistle. So that's as soon as I opened, I left it for 2 whistles instead of 1, because I was just going with the smell. It wasn't charring, and I know that at 2 whistles it'll not be mushy. So you could just eat it this way. You could add some mustard seeds tempering and eat it straight away, or you could put this on a tawa and make it a bit more crisp, which is what I'll probably do. But it's all done. It doesn't need any further cooking as such. That's just getting greedy and wanting a crispy texture. So bumblebee aubergine, bumblebee kathrikai, ready. That's the bumblebee kathrikai ready to be served.